But now let's completely dive into Kaantha. Why did he use this black and white?
What's my initial question? You connected to the...
Oh my god, that's an okay. You
Spoiler
connect. You connect. It's a
Super
spoiler.
Suddenly we're there, like Dulquer's ready, and I was like, just bring more light, bring more light. So we actually had to put like really close to the actor.
Camera close.
Someone online actually asked me like on Insta, like, how do you achieve this mad look on him? Is it makeup? Yes. Is it the LUT? Yes. Is it Dulquer? Yes. Is it the light? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a filter? Yes. Is it the lens? Yes. Is it the camera choice? Yes. Is it the smoke? Yes. Is all of it combined?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode on Westside Talkies Podcast. We have Danny with us again today, and we'll be talking about his latest movie, Kaantha. Welcome, Danny. Welcome.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
We
Really glad to
actually
be back
briefly
here
spoke about
with you
it in
guys.
our last podcast, like very briefly. You
Yeah,
just
couldn't
introduced
spoil
us.
anything.
You
Yes.
literally introduced us into the Kaantha's world at that time. But now let's completely dive into Kaantha.
Yes. Again,
Fantastic.
thank you, Danny, for being with us again. We watched the movie and we loved it. There's so many brilliantly shot scenes. It was, like very evident that it was shot very intelligently. And one thing stood out throughout the movie is the mirrors, and I see mirror behind you again.
That's
We
my
wanted
question.
to ask about that mirrors, like what is this
Yeah.
obsession with the mirrors in the movie? And you got joined and I saw, oh, there's a mirror again in the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the
Uh,
ghost lurking there, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like
That
Neely suddenly like seeping in. Hmm.
that was my question. He stole it.
Mm.
Anyways, before we get into the technical aspects of the film, one
Mm.
basic question, you might have answered it many interviews, but asking you again, how was shooting for Kaantha with Dulquer, Bhagyashree, the director, and everybody? How was it? How was your experience?
Yeah, this was a very special team, that assembled to make this movie. I think everyone understood how how important or how interesting this film was and the script, and that it was an opportunity for all of us to do our best and to showcase the power of film, because not all, I mean, when you read a screenplay, sometimes, you just don't know, and sometimes you think the movie will be good and then it's okay. But most of the time, like when you find a gem, you know that you found it. It was, I mean, when I read Mahanati, I was in LA and I didn't know anything about the Telugu film industry, but I read the script and I was like, wow, this is special, right? It's the same thing for Kanta, like the puzzle of it, the fact that I don't know if I can spoil it. I think I can, no? But
Yeah, you
it's
can.
Yeah,
It's
you
as we
can
been
speak.
spoil it
like
now.
two
Yeah, I
weeks
think
already.
everyone's read the reviews. So I'm sorry if someone hasn't, but like spoiler alert. Like the fact that there was a shift, a complete shift of tone of genre in the midsection, like after the interval, like we go into a completely different situation, like from
Suspense.
dusk till dawn kind of effect, but this time from drama to thriller, I think was very special, especially because you don't see that happening in these period pieces, like you don't expect that, suddenly like you suddenly have that shift, but you don't expect that, especially from a movie that you know really takes you in this complex world, at the beginning, and the first section, and in the second section actually like takes the thriller to another level because there's so much of the past that you don't know, right? And suddenly, like it keeps sipping in. So I thought that was brilliant. I think Selva and Tamil, they did a great job with the scripts, with creating that puzzle. With
Hmm.
kind of like solving up the pieces and putting them together. So we just had to find a way to tell it visually, right? Like, which not easy, but I love a challenge. So it was very cool to like like when I was a kid, actually I was very good at math. like my second choice in my after we have some sort of SATs here in Spain. I don't know how you call them in India, but
Kind of.
they're like the exams to graduate and to get into universities. You know, we have a national system. So the what really qualifies is the grade from that exam. And you know, obviously, I wanted to study film, so that was my first choice. But my second choice was math because I was very good at solving problems. You know, so when it came to this movie, I was like, okay, like this is a cool problem. Let's try to solve it in the most in the most quintessential way, no? Like how can we make this so simple that it's intelligent, you know, that you know that you get in there and the structure is not an impediment, but it's actually exciting. But you understand everything perfectly because it's complex, you know, it's a complex narrative. But you know, I mean, having read all of the, I mean, I'm carefully reading
Mm.
all the reviews and like, you know, a lot of, I mean, it's heartwarming when you see audiences reaching out to you to tell you how the movie was, you know. And I love that from Telugu now Tamil industries, you know, like in Malayalam as well. Like now I'm getting some Malayalam comments in which and even Hindi, like it Dharma actually released it
Okay.
in the you know in the north of India in the other
Hmm.
industry. So it was great to see that people have problems with many things. They love the movie most of the time. The people had like issues here and there, but there was not an issue of understanding the movie, and that's
Hmm.
great. You know, I think that really, I mean, kudos to Selva, kudos to everyone involved in this movie because it was a very complex script, and it could have ended
Initial.
like um, chimera where you know you just don't know what's happening. Uh, I mean, it could have been like, okay, this movie looks great, you know, has great sound, acting is awesome, what the fuck is this about, right? And it's no, and people are following it. They have maybe problems with pacing, or they have problems with you know the fact that they don't get into the tone shift, you know. But I mean, it's from what I read, it's been regarded really well. Like you know, it has an 8.7, I think, on IMDb. So that's one of the
Hmm.
highest so far in my career. That's pretty good. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Again,
So,
it's a brilliant film.
hmm.
I
thank you.
when I
Yeah,
was watching the
I wanna know
film, I
what you
felt,
guys think.
yeah,
Yeah, no, no.
Actually.
It's like when the film started, I, I also felt the same thing. Like when they are going, when the tonal shifts are happening from black and white to the color to black and white, black and why did he use this black and white? Was my initial question. But
Hmm.
by the time by the time I came to the interval shot, when you connected the first right on the first shot when Dulquer comes in with the hat in the shadow, and then you connect it to the oh my god, that's an okay,
spoiler
you
alert.
connect it's a spoiler,
Super
but anyway.
spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you connect that to the interval and that to the climax,
Hmm.
then I got like, okay, these pieces are connecting here.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
uh I was very curious, like literally the first segment of the film,
Hmm.
you will be having the same like the same scenes, but one in black and white and one in color.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Did and it's the same question like that I asked you in the last time. You guys used film or not for this?
We didn't. We didn't.
We didn't. You didn't use. You
No.
you were
No.
directly using the color grading, right? Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now
Yes. We
I'm
use a lot.
satisfied. Because the thing is, I was like, oh my God. Because for Mahanati, you
Hmm.
used. Oh, he was stuck.
Oh,
Am I
No,
no,
stuck?
they're not.
I think you are.
One second.
He,
I was stuck. Sorry, my internet was gone.
That's okay. That's okay. No worries.
Okay. For Mahanati, like when you
Hmm.
said when we were talking about Mahanati last time, you
Hmm.
said you used film for the black and white portions. So I was like,
Hmm.
I was in the same senses and I was watching. So Danny
Hmm.
might have used film again because
Hmm.
the LUT actually looks like film. I don't know how did you
Hmm.
guys achieve it in the DI, but it feels like film. The whole film feels like it was shot in that era using those
Hmm.
cameras.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That was the
Yeah.
best thing. That was the best thing of the film. And when you were actually transitioning from black and white to color, I was like,
Hmm.
oh my God, he used film in one place, and he also used the camera with the same emotions and same expressions, with the same, like, without even any movements or something. Oh my God, I was like fused out. And later, now
Hmm.
you cleared my doubt.
So,
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, like one correction is that in Mahanati we didn't use film for the black and white portions. Actually,
Oh,
we
sorry, the
tested.
color. Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
it was the color. It was the present.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm.
So here, I tried to use black and white film for the film within the film because it was not such a big part of the script, right? So my first approach was what you said, like and it happens the same thing with Mahanati, like that our first approach is always the easiest, but we, I mean, I because of the state of where film is right now, especially like in a movie that has that changed so much, right? Like when we were in prep, like the script was still shifting. When I was color grading like 2 weeks, 4 weeks ago, the edit was changing. In fact, I just got to know that there's a new edit that came out, you know,
Oh,
to the cinemas. You didn't know about that, right?
no, no, no.
Yeah, I just got to know. So, yeah, there's a new edit.
Oh yeah, yeah. They
So
just announced it today.
What is
yeah,
it?
so maybe
This is like a new edit.
maybe like the it's not such a spoiler. Maybe now the silhouette is someone else. No, I don't think so. But like for a movie that changed so much, it was very difficult because we would have um to probably scan the film abroad. It was very difficult. I mean, like I talked to Rana totally disencouraged me. I talked to even Glenn Castillo, my colorist. He actually works sometimes in a lab in Romania. He's like, Danny, don't do this on film. Like, don't even do a test on film because I actually have a compendium of film
Okay.
that is scanned because he scanned films for such a long time, right? So to achieve this special look of the black and white, um, we thought about which stock of celluloid would Aya have shot, right? So we researched, and I think 1954 there's a new stock from Kodak called Tri-X,
Mm.
and it released that year in America. And since Martin says like whatever you want, right? So we thought he asked for this, he asked for this stock to to be brought from America. So Glenn Castillo actually spoke to Kodak, got all of this information, not a lot created for like we have on Resolve that you just apply and
Mm.
supposedly you get the look of that. No, no, no.
Mm.
He got the imperfections of different densities, from
Okay.
different scans, and he
Mm-hmm.
actually created a lot not from that, but from a test shoot that I did because we had some references that we can talk about later.
Mm.
But we shot 2 or 3 scenes, like stills from those movies.
Okay.
I recreated with my choice of camera lenses, and I sent it
Oh.
to him, and he applied that look in specific to the Sony Venice 2 and the Cook anamorphic special flare full frame. So to create this look that you put on the camera, you know, he actually did all that. We actually created all
Oh.
this. We talked about the references. He took all this stock information from Tri-X. He adapted it to the Sony Venice with the Cook special flare and anamorphic. And that's how we created a look. Now, the first time we put that on set, I just realized that I couldn't light it normally.
Yeah.
Like the Sony Venice is actually 800 ISO. So it's
Mm.
actually a high sensitive camera. And it
Mm.
was looking really dark. And I was like, oh, fucking, like, Glenn, what did you do to me? Like, this is not working. Like, and I was ready to like, to drop it. I mean, we did some tests before, but like we did it, randomly because we were about to shoot. So suddenly we're there, like Dulquer's ready, like, and I was like, just bring more light, bring more light. I think we realized that the same way that you work with Tri-X, you had to work with this lot. So it's,
Oh.
it's not only that we emulated the look, but we emulated the way that stock reacted, right? Now the sensor of that Sony Minis 2 was Tri-X. It was film. It was back in that era. It was 1954. So we actually had to put like really close to the actor. And suppose, I mean, we overexposed it for like, I think like 2 or 3 stops. And I guess someone online actually asked me like on Insta, like, how do you achieve this mad look on him? Is it makeup? Yes. Is it the LUT? Yes. Is it Dulquer? Yes. Is it the light? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Is it a filter? Yes. Is it the lens? Yes. Is it the camera choice? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it the smoke? Yes. It is all of it combined into a visual design, right? And I'm glad that you guys loved it because it was a like a very nurtured look that we tried to pull off because we knew that those scenes were special.
Yeah.
That this film in the film is what actually at the end explained the whole movie, right?
Mm, mm.
So it was the quintessential. I mean, the film is called Kaantha, which is
Hmm.
the film in the film, right? That's how special this
Meta
part
film.
is. Yeah.
It's a meta film. Yeah. So basically, I have a color grading question here. Recently, I had to learn color grading for some
Hmm.
specific reasons.
Hmm.
So for for so when you have to apply this LUT onto that particular frame,
Hmm.
when you're applying the LUT, are you doing the basic color grading on that footage, or you're just applying the LUT and just leaving it off? Because when you
Hmm.
apply the LUT, you already get it. You already get the
Hmm.
look what you want. That is what the LUT
Hmm.
is. It's
Hmm.
just like a filter.
Hmm.
Of course, you do the basic color corrections and stuff. That is a different thing. But I'm
Hmm.
talking about the grading, like the
Hmm.
skin textures and all. Do you do that,
Hmm.
or like you like after the color corrections, you just put the LUT and that's
Uh,
what is the scene?
it's a big
That's
film.
a good
I
question.
Sorry, go
Sorry,
ahead, Danny. I would say
Lakshit.
obviously you will do it, right?
I mean,
I
it's a
don't
very
think
good question
so because
because
after learning
hmm,
the grading,
Hmm.
okay,
hmm.
you continue.
Okay.
I have a answer.
So it's
Okay.
you're talking about workflow, and it's a very interesting question because not I mean, cinema is not a science. I would say that, right?
Hmm.
When we started shooting film, what you do, right? You chose the lenses and you chose the stock. There's limited number of stocks, like at the end of, I think at the end of 2008, over there, maybe you had 6 stocks from Kodak or something like that, if I remember correctly. So you have a limitation of number of stocks. You did your research and you chose one. Then when you finish, you went to the lab and you kind of, told them what to do with it. You could do things before, you could pull, you could push, but those effects were hard. I mean, like they were
Hmm.
hardcore, and you needed a good connection with the lab for them to do something like that because they're quite expensive, right?
Hmm.
If you remember Seven, for example, they did what's it called, a silver. How did you, they retained the silver on it. Well, I'll remember that technique. I forgot, but they basically did something.
For
They
seven movie,
some
right?
for Seven, yeah.
Yeah.
So some
Okay.
other ones did flashing, like McCabe, Mrs. Miller. They did flashing of a light on the negative, so
Hmm.
it created less contrast from the beginning because the blacks will be like flashed. Um, so those things actually like help us find um, looks right now in digital that were done back then. But there wasn't. I mean, it was limited, right? So when I started shooting digital, I actually thought the same way. Well, we'll find the look in post. We'll choose the camera, choose the lenses, and then we'll find the look in post. What happens with that is that you know more and more the limitation of time that you have in post and the advancement of CGI or VFX is difficult. Like if you shoot with a Rec 709, right? 709, like obviously, like that's probably not gonna be the look of the film. but everyone has seen this Abbott look, the look of the Abbott.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go into the eye and you find the look that sold everyone in pre-production, producers knew, the director is totally with you, right? And he's, like, this is how I wanted it to look, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly we show it to the producers, and like the producers like, well, but we like the previous look, the one that,
Mm-hmm.
like and the editor is like, no, but I could see the face here. It's like, yeah, but like, you know, that you could see because your monitor is shit, right? So there's a lot of things like that keep happening, right? Because I always thought, I mean, my first movies even, I used raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was happy. I like, okay, like now I have all these stops and I can use them, and then we'll find the look later. I found out that the way that cinema and TV work right now, you better shoot your look from the very beginning. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone you're collaborating with everyone on set that way, right? That is very true now with the time constraints that we have, especially on TV, where you have to shoot, maybe 6 pages a day. I shot once like 12, and that was crazy, to shoot the quality that you're required, no? Like it's difficult.
Yeah.
So uh, creating a look that you are shooting is better for everyone. So there's a standard already over there that is close to the final look. Now, what do you do in the eye, right? Like in this movie, like Rana was like, dude, like, you know, just, it's ready. And I was like, it's close, Rana is close, but
Yeah.
like now you have obviously like you're shooting this way, you're shooting that way. Um, you're shooting here at 8 a.m. Here you're shooting at 9 a.m. and the sun is shifted, and of course, like you light accordingly, but maybe the tonal shifts of the sky are different, right? So you have to match it better. Like the skin tones are not matching here and there because of this and this and this. And so um, what you do in color grading is matching, but you're also adding a special treatment to special scenes. But obviously, you already have a base that you can be faster as well. That you
Mm-hmm.
can be faster, that you can be more accurate. And most of all, I think what's important of having a look for on the set is that in the past, I mean, it was only the director and the DOP that could look at the movie
Mm-hmm.
because the monitors that you had were they were
Small.
green, they were black and white, they were like,
Mm-hmm.
when the shutter was moving, you could see half of it. Like people didn't know, like is that rock in, is that rock out? I don't know, is that sign in? I was the one that needed to tell the whole team. The director needed to look through and actually imagine what the frame would be. Now everyone has monitors, like now even on iPads, right? Like because we like radio to everyone, so people in makeup team they don't have to be on set. They can be like chilling, so there's less space, like there's more space, there's less clutter on set. People from the art department can be watching like in their in the caravan, like it doesn't matter, right? Like they can be watching everywhere, and that's really good, like I love that collaboration. And if they watch how or as close as we can to the final image, they're gonna be more precise,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be like, oh, this color doesn't, it doesn't look good in black and white, like this contrast, like maybe I need to do this, maybe I need to do that, right? So I think that's important, and that's a lesson that I learned with time, and with experience and with failure.
True.
Nice.
Okay.
Ah, wait, let's talk about that famous mirror scene. I know it
Okay,
went
Okay.
viral
sounds
on
good.
Insta, and I'm sure everybody would have seen it already. So spill out your secret.
Actually, it was already on the teaser, so he can
Mm,
actually talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
I know. They told me that there was a Reddit community talking about it, and
yeah,
there's
I've
a
Yeah.
seen
lot
it. It's on
of
Insta also.
there's a lot of theories, which is cool. I'm happy that people are thinking about how a shot is
Mm.
made. I don't think. I mean, I think if nowhere else in the world people will be like so determined, to actually analyze a shot. So I'm very glad that that's happening.
Nice.
So how do you guys think we did it?
Okay. I have a theory for this.
Mm.
Basically, these kind of shots happen with clone. There will
Hmm.
be there will be a mirror shaped uh thing here, and there will be real Dulquer here to the
Hmm.
other side of the frame, and there will be a dupe Dulquer here, might be
Hmm.
because it can't be done in CGI. So
Hmm.
uh this guy will be coming into the front, you will be shooting the real Dulquer first, and
Hmm.
then the same shot, but in an inverted way from here,
Hmm.
where you will get the reference of the dupe.
Hmm.
This is
Hmm.
what I am thinking. This is what how you shot it.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think, you know, people are only analyzing the ending, you know, it's
Mm,
like the bang, the climax.
mm,
But to actually talk about this shot, I think you have to analyze the sequence, right?
mm.
I mean, throughout the movie, obviously it's a movie about acting, it's
Movie.
about smoke and mirrors, right?
Uh,
So mirrors are going to be a leitmotif. And in the first set that they shoot in, there's a mirror, right? There's a mirror
mm,
there. We kind of see it, you know, we kind of present it, and then suddenly there's a scene in which, you know, the journalist is there, and Dulquer is kind of, you know, throwing darts at Aya on the corner, and then Aya suddenly like insults him. But it's
uh,
part of the movie, right? He goes to him and he confronts him, and he literally knows that there's a mirror behind him, right? He's walking back and he's giving him already what he's telling us what the shot's gonna be.
mm,
He's telling you're gonna do this, Mark.
Yeah.
Takes two steps, you're gonna do this, Mark. You're
uh,
gonna do this, Mark. So he's actually telling you, like, there's gonna be a shot, and this is gonna be what's happening, right?
uh,
Mark, and this, you know, finally do this, Mark, right? Then he goes like, well, no, like I have to think about it, like journalists go. And then we set up the camera, we
mm,
set him up, you know, and the moment he says action, like with every time that we go into this film with the film, that was one of the rules that we put, we don't cut, right? We're gonna see a sequence shot of what that shot's gonna be because we thought Aya would actually like that. I mean, Aya would actually be a filmmaker that would think that, you know, sequence shots was more, had more realism, and he would actually define that. You know, that would define his filmmaking. And
mm.
then that's when it starts, and he has four stops. But in the last stop, we wanted to have him in front of the mirror,
Yeah, yeah.
but obviously that's when we crossed the mirror, and you know, like we wanted to give that idea of magic from the era of illusionism, you know, from the era, which was embedded to filmmaking in that time, right?
Uh,
Within the realism of that era, right? So in that I asked the collaboration of, I mean, this shot seems simple, but we had to collaborate with many departments. First of all, we had to create a set that had the space to have the camera on the other side of the mirror.
mm,
Now, this set had this mirror here, and now we had a duplication of this other set here, painted the same way, you know, with the same
mm,
mirror and
mm,
everything. We needed a duplicate of Dulquer that would act the same way, but that had different moments, you know, like I mean, it's cool that he's not fully in sync. We like that, you know. We like for you guys to notice that it was a trick, that it's not CGI, that there's actually, you know, that Dulquer is actually performing in this brilliant manner, and there's actually like I mean, it had like everything had to be in sync, right? Like the camera had to be in sync, the dolly had to be in sync, and this guy had to be in sync
no.
for the shot to work, right? So,
Yeah.
so it was all like a complex shot. I mean, these versions of this shot are in many movies, right? We talked about Faust, this French film, in which you know, the obviously Faust goes to the underworld, and that way he gets across from the mirror, and they cross it with water. So we talked about maybe doing something with water. Then we talked about the shot this movie by Robert Zemeckis, uh, Contact, right? Finally you open the cabinet for the medicines and you
Yeah,
realize that
yeah,
the whole
yeah,
shot
yeah.
was a mirror. But we wanted to do something more vintage, and we watched a lot of movies in which this was made, and we realized that this could work. And the moment that Dulquer did such amazing acting, which is, I think we wrapped that day. Like, I think this was the last shot of the day, and we were like, okay, cool. And then Aya like came to us, like some of the guys like, oh, can they do the previous scene again? Because he had seen like the Dulquer like perform so well. He's like, dude, like I want to repeat my scene. So we
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
did that. We actually went back and we reshot that part.
Oh, took his
I'm not
shot again?
sure. Yeah, we reshot
Oh,
I mean, because in this one we actually shot in sequence,
uh-huh,
sometimes we had that luxury in this movie,
uh, uh.
and this time we could do that. We could go back and he actually performed it again. I'm not sure which take we used finally. We had to ask Anthony and Selva,
Mhm.
but yeah, we actually did that again. Yeah. So
Oh,
for that, actually, obviously, we had to. I mean, Ramalingam had to actually build a mirror that we could take out. And Sumit is my key grip from Zoo Grips. He actually built a specific arm because the width of that vintage mirror was not big enough for a Jimmy Jeep. So we actually had to like figure out a way in which to build one arm that could actually go straight without moving, right? Because Jimmy Jeep
oh.
also like shakes.
Okay.
We didn't want to give it up, right? We wanted
Mm,
you to think that it's a dolly, that it's not a Jimmy Jeep, right?
uh,
But it's actually a Jimmy Jeep going back, so it could cross
Oh,
oh.
through the gap, yeah.
And
okay.
And
also, when
obviously
the
the
shot
lighting,
ends,
because the
uh,
lighting, I mean, you have a wall and you have to emulate lighting on both sides
yes,
for you to actually believe the trick, right? So, yeah.
yes, yes. Also, when you show that scene, the scene would be so spontaneous. When Dulquer ends that scene, he breaks his head to the mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah. At that point of time, how was that camera movement done? Like it looks like still, but I don't think it's a still camera. You were moving.
Uh, in which moment? Like, I mean, we
Like,
definitely thought that once we cross, right?
mm,
And
mm,
this was a lot of discussion because like, oh, will audiences get that? Will audiences
mm,
get that? Whenever we go in the film, there's actually some magic happening, and then
mm,
like we actually break from that magic, and then
mm,
suddenly like he breaks the mirror. But
mm,
I think those are the things that kind of like give you that idea of how exciting movies were in that era,
mm,
and so yeah, like once I think we go back in, we stay static on the last fourth position of Dulker, and he
mm.
breaks it in. We actually crossed to the other side, right? And we
That
are
was
on the
my,
side of the
yeah,
axis, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's actually breaking the head here and not here,
Mm,
and this
yeah,
this
yeah.
should be the axis that we should be in, right?
Mm,
But
mm,
well, not really because I mean, frankly, like the axis is here, so he should
mm.
be here. But anyways, we do a 180, and he breaks the wall there, and I think and we go back from
Yeah.
the hit to back, so we can see everyone kind of tending him.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah. Giving that expression. Oh my God, they immediately come towards him. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
which is another way of manipulation from
Mm,
TKM, right? Like he knows that he's gonna break his head, and we don't know. I mean, and this is actually up to kind of subjectivity. We don't know if he gets so much in the character that he doesn't care, or he finally gives in. He's like, okay, I'm gonna give Aya what he asks. Like,
mm,
I mean,
mm,
he's giving me a great scene. Let's give him what he wants, or he is trying to victimize himself now that that he's seeing that Aya is actually trying to get the reins of the movie again, right? So
mm.
yeah, it's a very complex scene, right?
Was it
Yeah.
written?
Yeah,
Was
yeah, yeah.
like the same way that you shot?
Uh, I mean, the scene was brilliantly written, but no, we found. But if you're asking if the crossing of the mirror was written in the script, no, that
Hmm.
was a visual translation that we did.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So during this was a very exciting time for me because um, the same way that the movie just released with a new cut during pre-production, like we just had 1 month. Dulquer had some dates, and I mean I was hired in September 2004, 2003, sorry, 2023, sorry, and I worked for a month in the movie, but then things fell off. So in May, I was free again. I think it was at the end of March. I wrote to Selva and I was like, "Hey, Selva, I just finished a movie. Blah blah blah. Like, would you like what's happening with Kaantha? Blah blah blah." And he's like, "Actually, let me check." And suddenly, like, yeah, like it's revamping, but we only have 1 month for prep. It's like, send me right now to India. So we worked for a month as if, we were going to shoot in a month. And during that time, Selva was writing. Like the second day that I was there, we had a huge meeting in Rana's house with everyone. And we spoke about the film, we spoke about the script, and it's funny because I think right now there's a lot of conversations going on about it, about who the protagonist is in this film, right? Like I think it's because it's a film about perspective. Um, I mean, who do you guys think the protagonist is for this film?
Story,
Huh?
story. The story is the protagonist.
I mean, that's a trick answer.
Yeah, it's being diplomatic.
No, I'm not being
Mm,
diplomatic. The thing is, what I felt, because every character in this film, there is no white character in this film. Even the Bhagyashree's
mm,
character is grey. She's just a puppet of Aya, right?
mm,
So when when you don't have a specific perspective on yourself, then that means that you are not right. So even Bhagyashree is not right. No one is right in this film. Everyone
mm,
is flawed. Everyone is grey. Then who would be the protagonist? The story that's
mm,
happening is the protagonist. That's my explanation for that.
mm. So, I mean, they were talking about like at the beginning, they were talking about this and that, and like there's so many versions of the script, like Rana and Dulquer, like they spent years developing the script with Selva because they loved it, and like they spent
Mm-hmm.
hours and hours, and I was like, well, I don't know about the second half, but this first half, guys, like the protagonist is Kumari, and then I was like, what? And I was like, well, because who is the protagonist? Is the one that's pushing the action, that's pushing the theme, that's pushing, and she is the only one trying to figure out what the feud is between these two guys, because obviously the theme is the feud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the conflict between Aya and
And
Dulquer.
Dulquer, yeah.
Yeah,
Anna.
but I mean, they are acting onto it, especially Dulquer is actually creating problems to Aya, right?
Mm.
But they're not trying to solve the conflict, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They're implementing it. So they're both antagonists.
Mm.
The protagonist is Kumari because she's trying to placate the conflict. Like then Suresh Babu was there and it's like, exactly, that's exactly right. But we I sat down with Selva and like he had the idea of this perspectivism in the film, right? And like every scene, we went through the script and I wanted him to tell me like which perspective he saw it through. Because I mean, where do we put the camera is related to that, right? And he realized over and over that yeah, like actually yeah, the eyes was, I mean, there's a lot of TKM, there's a lot of Aya, but there's a lot of scenes that we see through Kumari. So we kind of went through that, we did that exercise and we started like doing some shot listing, but he had to finish the script. So he actually delegated the shot list to me in this time. Like many, I mean, this could sound like weird, but it's not so much. I mean, like who does the shot list? Right now, I'm watching a lot of Insta stories about who does the shot list, who does the shot list, and like Roger Dickens, like the director, the director does the shot list, and like, uh, I mean, he has to, and he gives me, but sometimes he doesn't, right? it depends. Cinema is not science, right? And in this case, like Selva was busy. We understood our visual design. We understood where we were going, and I just created a doc, one of those Google Docs, and he's busy writing. We shaped maybe 10 scenes, and then I started writing it for them, not for him, right? Like what are the shots for the film? Obviously, then we went on set and we decided on the moment. But it was good to have a base, especially in scenes like this, with the mirror scene or the ending scene, the climax, right? I think another scene that was very exciting for me was the climax because like how do you write? I mean, how do you tell that story? Like all the things that are happening in one shot, especially if it's happening 3 times, right? Because I'm talking about the climax of Kaantha, the film in the
Mm,
film, right?
mm.
And the movie has another. I mean, the movie has another one, but the meta film has this kind of escalation of takes, which is so cool, right? Like how you learn more and more about the movie as you do takes on the
Mm,
same sequence, right?
mm,
So the
mm,
first one, like things happen, and it's the ending. It's one of the endings that one of the characters wants, right? Like the second one is another ending of the other character, and we end up with the ending that TKM wants, right? That the
mm,
person, the character from Dulquer wants. So I
mm.
think that is brilliant writing. That is like such a real concept. So how do we tell that in one shot? Because at that point, like someone was like, no, like this, maybe we jump, Danny, like we have to see so many things, like maybe we jump, we need another shot. It's like, but like, how do you? I mean, yes, we can go into the magic that we do for the mirror, right? And actually have some shots in black and white, but we wanted to be realistic. We wanted to keep that mantra of once the camera is rolling, we don't cut out, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's
Mm.
where we figure out how to do it with that triangle, right? With that triangle of the staircase and
Yeah.
like you
Ah,
know the
okay,
character,
okay.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
coming to the
They are
same
coming to
point.
the center point. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
which is, like, a typical
And
composition.
you use the circle there in the center
Yeah, I mean, it's
towards the
actually
stairs.
an inverted triangle in a way, if you want to see it that way. That kind
Mm,
of closes into this 4 by 3 squarish kind of aspect ratio, right?
mm,
So, we're coming in, and actually the person who pulls the camera forward is actually the brother of TKM, right? Like that the character,
mm,
and which is weird, but since we are, talking about changes of perspective, he is the one that needs to choose who to kill in the
Yeah.
different endings. And until we were convinced about that, it took a lot. I mean, this was something that we really discussed in because Selva likes. I mean, I think he's a devil's advocate. Like once, like everyone's very convinced about something, he will come up with the idea of like, how can we do this differently, right? Which
Okay.
is great, because it shakes things up in a way, and it's like, oh wait, but what's going on? So uh, we found that this was the best way to do it, in which we actually tell everything, like, and we go, and he's like, who do I kill? Who do I kill? Right? And do I kill the girl? Do I kill Kumari, or do I kill Tigam? Right? So that was another thing that we discussed a lot, especially
right.
like where does he end? How does he fall? Because there's so many things happening in that shot, right? Like so many things that Rana Phoenix has to look at
Mm,
when the investigation goes on as well, right?
mm,
So so yeah, that's another
Very
scene that
nice.
that we took a long time to
Yeah, you're talking
crack.
about the climax, so I wanted to ask you this. I know there is like this mini head-breaking scene, and then in the climax there comes that heavy head-breaking scene. Initially there are
Hmm.
like two mirrors, and in the climax there are like multiple mirrors.
Hmm.
Escalation, going to the climax, so more cinematic, more stakes. Uh, while shooting the last scene, I know now you have a lot of VFX and stuff, so it is not very difficult to hide the camera where you have like
Hmm.
360 degrees, or maybe I think you have like 180 degrees of mirrors, and it is finding the right angle so that the camera is not visible within the mirrors is. Did you use any VFX, or was it like just your tricks in such a way that the camera was not visible in any of those mirrors?
So if you think about like the movie like almost always has a mirror embedded in the scene.
Yes, every
You
scene,
Yeah.
know, it's
almost every
yeah,
scene.
always, because nothing is what it seems, right? Like what you said, like everyone has a flaw, everyone has a bizarro kind of doppelganger going on.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, like obviously you have the actors' rooms, right? Like the dressing rooms of both actors. The
mm.
sets all have mirrors, you know, like there's reflections, you know. There's a
Even
camera. The camera is actually another mirror, right? Like what is
Mm.
cinema if not try to mirror reality into 2D spatial art, right? So when we thought about like how TKM's dress like personal room would be in his house, like Silva like brought all these ideas of the houses of actors from that time, right? And we looked at different houses, and they weren't looking spectacular because at that time, like people just live humbly and like, it was hard to believe in our era in
mm,
2025 that that house was a luxury, right? And having shot Mahanati and like seeing like all these other movies with biopics and stuff, like, hmm, we could have gone that route. And like we thought about it. I mean, he thought strongly about it, but I think finally he decided that he was gonna go big, right? Like we're gonna show like a big house, and like it was gonna live in luxury. Because if you show a house like that, you have to like there's so many things that you have to explain otherwise, right? Like, oh, this era, blah blah blah. So just tell it simply. But now for his own room, where he looks at himself and like acts, right? Like, which is his craft. Like he thought that they would have some mirrors, right? We thought that maybe in the bedroom we'll have a dressing room that would be as big as the um Nizam's dressing room, right? Like that
mm.
was the first idea. No, Nizam. So we went to see the Nizam's dressing room. Oh, it's huge, like so lovely, blah, blah, blah. But there barely no mirrors there because like he had people to dress him, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
were the mirrors. So we started with that simple idea of having more and more mirrors, and suddenly we were like, what if we actually like just do a whole room of mirrors, and like the whole room is mirrors, like even the door is a mirror, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, and we started like thinking about that, right? Okay, so we found the space, and we're like, well, he would have like he needs a table to sit down, and we were like, well, why is that? Like that is also a mirror. It's like, well, you could have 3 mirrors. It's like, oh, that's amazing. It's like, now how do we like this, right? And obviously, like we took some liberties back there because like the lighting that is there could be from that era, but we actually use LED. But we kind of shaped it as if there were tubes, right? Because at that
Mm.
era, they already existed fluorescent. He would have access to them, because he would be in
He's
that
rich.
luxury.
Yeah, yeah.
So exactly. So we decided to like add that and to embed that in the mirrors. So actually, like we could move around with him. Dulquer loves like having space to act. Like once he's not a guy that does many takes unless needed. If he can do it in one take, he would do it. He's ready. He's there. So that's great for us, right? So we need to give that space to him as well, right? Like so we gave him that, and then we hit the camera uh that way. I mean, when you have 360, it is, especially if you give all that, allocation, there's no way that you're not going to see it, right? But when it came to the 3 mirrors, we actually made them so they could move and shift. So
Okay.
in that scene, yes, the camera is hidden.
Okay.
The camera is hidden. We don't see the camera.
Okay.
But when he's actually moving around and we were like following him, obviously, like, yeah, yeah.
VFX.
So I have to actually mention my team over here, because I mean my cinematography team in this movie was superb. I couldn't have done it without my team. And Nishant did additional photography on this when I was busy because the movie actually had some breaks and I couldn't come from Spain. So scenes from this movie are shot directly by him through like a visual design, but by him completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Richie Yao was my second unit DOP. He went to school with me at Chapman, and we hadn't worked for a long time, and it was great to
Oh,
to meet him again.
so you
The
got your friend
gaffer,
again.
yeah, yeah, he came from the US.
Okay.
He and I were, I mean, I gaffed for him, he gaffed for me. I operated for him in this short film that he did in Hawaii in the sets of Lost, in Hawaii. We actually shot a short film there that went to Sundance, and I operated for him there, like the handheld camera. And he came here and he did the second unit. He did some days in which, we had to be in the sets of the we had to be in the big set, and we had to also be in the actors rooms because we didn't have dates. So we did that. We split units. It was great. And then we had the gaffer Hitesh that shot Muga Manasulu,
Oh
like
yeah.
Yeah.
that music video. Hitesh Sadrani shot that, gaffed that for me. So we had them for the full movie. And that was great. And then that whole team that I've been assembling, my team is always a mix of different cultures. So Hitesh is from Mumbai, Nishant is from Telangana. We had some people from Tamil Nadu, and we had an American guy, and I'm Spanish. So, so it's always good because we all speak same language. And in this, they helped a lot. They helped a lot in creating the feeling of this room. Obviously, we conceptualize it, but like this whole feeling was a team effort, a team
Very
effort
nice.
altogether. I mean, the whole movie in a way. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely. I'm very happy that you are mentioning your team so many times. I'm sure
Mm.
you all are very close and very happy together. Uh,
Yeah,
I know why
we
I was
uh we
asking about.
agree. I mean, because I've been working in India for so long.
Mm.
I've been like working with them. Like one of the first movies I did with Kamlesh, which is the brother of Hitesh. Then I worked
Oh,
with Krunal, which is his nephew, right? So, and Nishant was in Mahanati. His first day of film ever, Nishant Katari, came to set the first day of Mahanati, knowing
Oh,
oh,
nothing. His family owns a prawn farm, shrimp farm
okay.
in Andhra, and he came to Hyderabad looking for like other work, and like suddenly like he's in a film set, and I'm telling him how to like cut gels to fit in frames, and next thing you know, he's actually shooting Kaantha.
oh,
Like
very
he's
nice.
a great cinematographer. He's shooting his third feature film, so
Oh,
yeah, expect
nice.
good things from him. Yeah, expect good things
What
from
what
him.
what what films did he shoot already? I'll check his
I
IMDb
have
later,
to
but
I
I'll
have
check his
to I have to
IMDb.
look him up because the names I forgot, but
Okay,
I've watched a couple of them.
I'll look for
And
it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Also, I wanted to tell you
But
about
shot
this two
Kanta.
scene. Yeah, he
And
shot
he was
Kanta, I
also in
remember.
Kalki, in Virata Parvam, obviously. But
Oh,
yes,
nice.
he
Okay.
shot second unit also for Kalki. He did one
Oh,
movie called Kali.
Kali.
Ah, the
Yes,
OTT film.
Okay.
Shiva Sashu.
Ah,
Okay. Cool.
OTT film.
Actually about this last mirror scene. I know how you shot with whatever our current generation with uh the current equipment and gear what you have
Mm.
now. I when I was watching this scene, I was remembering one scene which I watched when I was a kid. I don't know if you remember this name. Do you know who is Singitam Srinivas?
Yeah,
You know him, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've met him.
Oh, you met him.
I
Oh,
think for Kalki,
Yeah.
he has to. I think he was the first choice for Kalki, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he would have met him
He
because
was
Kalki.
he was kind of supervising Kalki as well. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if
he
you have
was
met him
supervising
during that time.
Kalki.
Mm,
So he made a
mm,
movie called Patala Bhairavi, and that released in
mm,
early 90s. I don't think we were born
mm.
back then, but we watched it
Mm.
later, like when we were kids. In that movie, there is a scene where there's like 360 degrees of mirrors.
Oh.
Yes, and obviously they definitely didn't have VFX back then. And there's like a monster, and hero fights with that monster, and all the reflection of the fight between the hero and the monster is in all that mirrors. when I was watching this
Wow.
scene, I could think of that, but obviously there was no VFX back then, so I don't know how Sangeetam
What's
Srinivas
Oh,
what's
sir
that
was able to
movie?
hide it.
Patala Bhairavi.
It's called Patala Bhairavi.
I'm looking at it. I'm listening to you, but I'm looking at it
Yeah,
as we
yeah,
talk.
cool. So I
Sorry,
was able
because
to.
I
You should watch that scene.
No,
I
no,
remember this scene.
there are brilliant, like for example, Danny, if you know this film called Maya Bazar.
yeah,
So
obviously.
I would like to talk to you about one particular scene in that whole
But
film.
we're talking about Sangeetam Srinivasa Rao, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
he's the
yeah.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he was in Mahanati, and there's this. You can look it up. There's a video in which he actually came on set. I didn't know who he was. I watched films by him later, but
Okay.
he sat me down and he's like, there's something that Marcus Bardley shot. Uh, Specifically Savitri Garu with
Hmm.
this lighting that
Hmm.
did her nose shadow in this way, and
Hmm.
you've captured it. And I had no idea how I did it. Like I didn't purposely look at it, but I knew. I mean, I've watched a lot of movies of Savitri Garu where like I knew how she liked to be lit, and I
Hmm.
lit Kirti Suresh the same way. And
Hmm.
he noticed, and he was like, "Kudos to you because you really like emulated that." Uh, and I think and he was obviously supervising in Kalki, and I think he's actually doing something with these guys now. No, I think with Nagi.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
sure.
He should be working for the Kalki too again.
Kalki 2 probably.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
mm, mm.
Very nice. Yeah, but I just remember
I'll,
that
I'll
scene when I
watch. I
watched it.
watch this. Yeah, I'll definitely watch the scene. I mean, like one thing that we in that conversation in which and this is something that maybe in the longer cut edit or like alternative edit or maybe like some scenes of um we'll get for the moment I mean, there's so many climaxes in this movie. This is the climax between Dulquer and Aya and Dulquer
Hmm.
and TKM and Samatrakani. Um, at that time, it starts with mirrors again, right? Like
Hmm.
Dulquer is in front of the mirror and it's actually talking to Samatrakani through the mirror. Like TKM doesn't look back. He's looking in the mirror and he's
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at him, right? So we firstly shot that whole scene through mirrors. Like that was
Oh,
our first take. Like,
Oh,
but yeah, but so we shot
was that a
everything.
finished take? I mean, it was a okay take.
Yeah, yeah. We did the whole sequence like that,
Okay.
in which we just shot through meters, and then we got closer and closer and closer. And when he actually like Dulker got up and going in front of him, we actually went through and shot with this see-through mirrors. So you could like just
Okay.
see
okay.
reflections and reflections of both of them because at that point it seemed like they've
Both
it was
exposed.
the peak
There are
point
multiple
of,
people. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, in a way like we thought that at that point they would be like in the peak of their ego, right,
Hmm.
of their
Hmm.
division, so they're not really speaking to each other,
Hmm.
they're speaking to themselves, right. And then when Aya realizes his mistake, that's when he gets out, and actually it's the first time that we see him outside of the mirror, and we see him like devastated at the door, and that's when the corridor scene happens, right. That didn't work very well because I think the actors needed some space. And we packed them in these mirror scenes, so we reshot that. We reshot that, and that's the actual scenes that we have right now, in which Dulker actually goes on a 360 around him, and like they meet, and then there's this motion that goes, and we go back to the past and flashback and everything. But the whole scene was supposed to be just a face off through mirrors, and I mean, I thought like conceptually that was stronger, but sometimes visual concepts like kind of make the narrative stagnant or we don't crack it, and you have to just that's why like the editing is there, right, to make the movie better. So yeah.
If I was the editor, I would have used that shot.
Maybe you don't
Maybe.
know.
I would have,
Maybe it
like,
didn't
I
work.
would have a
Yeah.
fight with Shelva and then, man, please put this shot. This is the best shot.
No, I mean like I mean Seva is I mean when these things happen, obviously, like you get sad, right? Like Silva is a very sensitive guy, as I am,
Mm.
so he saw that I was a little bit like sad about it. But frankly, like we got a really good sequence nonetheless. Like we just build it up again. Like we start the same way. We start with mirrors, and then suddenly he breaks out. Like the moment he takes out his mustache, and it's
Mm-hmm.
actually like revealing him. Like
Mm.
that's when he takes out, and that's the moment that we got out of the mirrors, right? So, and there's actually some mirrors happening here and there, but yeah, like I mean, it was too much on the nose. Maybe it was too conceptual. It was too rational. Um,
No, no, no. I think we understood most of the metaphors in the movie,
Yeah,
but
yeah. The first scene itself, the first scene, or like when three of them come together, the first scene,
mm,
that was the best scene. Like it tells the whole story
mm,
right away. Like
true.
Aya talks to her in her dressing room, and Aya Dulquer's entry happens, and then Bhagyashree, I mean the Kumari, walks
Mm,
walks from like behind Dulquer. She looks at him, and then slowly she comes into the between, and you put the camera exactly in between like it will be in her perspective, I mean in
mm,
our perspective, seeing Kumari, and they both will be in the face of here, and then she will slowly walk to Aya. She'll walk to
yeah,
Aya and she'll stand behind him, marking that he is the one who is running me. You are nothing.
true,
No.
true.
Like I loved
Yeah,
that scene. Like initially I felt like he's this shot is good, but why is he telling? When I'm at the end of the film, then it blew my mind. Oh my god, this scene actually
yeah.
reflects the story.
We like to play with you. I mean, like, there's so many scenes of Boy Meets Girl in which, suddenly, like, we break from the 24 FPS natural, normal movement and we go into slow motion, right?
Mm,
And this was a moment for that. It was the first time that Dulquer sees Bhagyashree, and it's a moment for Bhagyashree to shine and to Dulquer to be like, I don't know, in love and whatever. But that was not the story. The story is that, you know, like it's the first time they see each other, but they're both in different ends, right? And we wanted
mm,
to show that, right? So we play with the audience's expectations of just a simple boy meets girl moment, but then it's so much, right? And suddenly we go to this shot in which the three of them are separated, Uh Aya and Bhagyashree are on the set,
mm.
and Dulquer is actually outside,
Outside
right?
the set. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have them divided by that.
it's
No,
Yeah.
black and
there's also
whites.
like the same way, like with leitmotifs. Like there's another shot where the song ends,
Ah, ah,
and
ah.
and Bhagyashree and Dulquer are
They
looking
both
at
fall.
each other,
Ah,
and the spotlight is on them, the camera is in between them, and then they go they back down, and in the middle is Aya at
yes.
the end, right? And that's actually like another. I mean, it's telling you that it's shifted, like
Mm,
that
mm.
this is changing, right? Like how. I mean, we wanted to tell that's like the story, the evolution of the story visually, obviously.
Very nice.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I know we've been guessing so many scenes. I wanted to hear it from you. What was yours most difficult scene to shoot in this movie? Or if not difficult, tell us what is your most favorite scene which you shot in this movie.
Hmm. I mean, we covered a few of them. I think obviously like the technique of the mirror scene was difficult. The um the uh the climax, the three climaxes, and like mixing them all together, that was difficult. Let me think about it. Like, hmm, oh, and this introduction scene is also very cool. But let me think.
There was one
What was
top
the
view
most
scene
difficult?
where Rana gets Samudrakani and Dilkar into the investigation room. You had a top
Oh,
view.
oh, yeah,
Both of them
top
like
view
walk.
from one room to the other room. Like it's kind
Mm,
of a transition, but
mm,
this scene is particularly interesting. The way you took it, it's particularly
mm.
interesting because like that's when after that scene they actually go and confront, and Dulquer reveals it that he killed her.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like
It's
when it
like
comes
we
to,
both killed her. It's not like I killed her and we both killed her.
yeah, I think there's simple things like that, no? When like, I mean, I prefer that to like
Okay, if not
very
difficult, think
technical
about
shots,
what
like
what
for
is
example,
your most
like
favorite scene.
exactly, like for example, like that is very simple. Like in a way, you just have to like give
Yeah,
time
to
to it,
stop you.
right? To get to, I mean, you have to create a platform and put a Jimmy Jeep there, and then just light it in a different manner because when you have a top shot, you don't light from the top, right? Because that will be like flat lighting. So you actually do a different lighting, and then you have to just make sure that you have a proper shot. But I mean, sometimes what's more exciting to me, more than just one shot, is when I combine shots together. I think, the preamble to the mirror shot was for me more exciting than shooting even the mirror shot, right? Um, but so just setting it up with those two dollies, right? Like once we have the dolly back of Aya to the mirror, right?
Mm,
And then we have two parallel dollies on Dulquer preparing for the
mm,
shot,
mm,
right? The camera comes here, and then you
mm.
have the camera goes there, and then Dulquer is here, and the lights go there, and that's preambling. This one is preambling the fact that we're gonna do it like this, right?
Yeah.
So that is more interesting. But there's one scene that in the film that was added because we had so much fun doing the film in the film that actually Selva had to write more.
Mm,
Yeah, because it was so good. Like all the actors were like, dude, like we need more of this. We need more of this. So that scene, we had another scene with Kumari
uh,
that was cut out of the film and of the script. And then there was no scene where Kumari was, aside from the moment in which, he shot, I mean, she's so good that he's shocked. And then he watches it on the screen and is like, oh my God, she's really good. Like the moment that he claps was added, and that was very exciting for me. We start with um, kind of like behind the shoulders of Dulker,
mm,
and the camera goes up, right? And then we reveal that Kumari is there, right?
mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
we go forward, and then we actually take the perspective of of the character of the film
mm,
and the film of TKM
mm.
acting. That's when she goes into the Neely mode, right? It's
Yeah, yeah,
once the
yeah.
camera is in the
Ah.
perspective of that character,
Mm.
he knows that he's killed someone. And that's when she goes into Neely and
Yeah.
then she gets out of it, right? So for that, we actually needed two dollies because
Oh,
Dulker had to like, once Dulker was out of the frame, he had to move out so the
Uh,
camera could actually get into his position. It's
uh,
a very simple trick. Like, I mean, we do it all the time, but that was one of the things that Sumit, our guy from Zoo Grips, my key grip, actually developed for us. He also developed that dolly back when she gets shot, Kumari gets shot, and Bhagyashree kind of falls back, right?
yeah, this shot.
He
yeah.
Yeah.
also he also developed that in a very simple way, very like the most minimalistic way possible, because we wanted to find the least complex way to shoot things. I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's what we aim for, right?
Very
Like
nice.
I had this question after watching the film.
Mm,
Why is Kumari happy while dying? Happy or like it's like in a her expression will be in a way like okay, my character is this is the end of my character.
mm,
I'm dying.
mm.
She's
Yeah.
accepting it. Like, did Selva explain you that why she her expression won't be in a way that she's dying of pain.
Mm,
Her
mm,
expression will be in a way that okay, let me die now.
mm,
Why
mm.
is that? Like only I felt it, or like did you also feel it, Surakshit?
No, no, no. I mean, like that's in the script, like she dies with a smile, right?
Yeah.
So
Why is
so
that?
we have to be with her at that time.
Oh, no,
That's
no,
that's
no.
why we developed this moment in which the camera is so we are falling with her, right? Like
Uh,
she's been us for the whole first half, right?
mm,
So
mm,
when she dies, we all die, and it's a very powerful way of dying. We had a whole sequence over there of shots in which like that's that dying of the ending of the first half, really. Like we had like different, but like written it differently. Yes, this was one of the major shots that we wanted, but we had found like many shots to tell it, and we just shrink it. We just shrunk it. We saw this shot and we're like, this is it. Like, you know, she sees him and that's it. Like, and I think it's revealing of who kills her, in a way. I
Mm.
mean, she accepts that this person can take her life in a way, right? I mean, that's how I read it. It's not
Okay.
like that we talk and there's always different versions. Or I mean, a book is open, a movie is open as well. I don't know. To me,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Now
Like,
I get
okay,
it.
like
Now I
No,
get
no,
it.
like
she
Because
it's
she fooled him like anything. There should be
fooled him.
a like she fooled him, right? All the time.
No, 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 no. She was
Uh,
happy because she saw him. That was a smile
mm,
because she saw him.
mm,
The
mm,
death was unexpected. Her expression stopped at the smile because he shot her.
mm,
She didn't
okay.
shift to being shocked. She died before she was shocked.
mm.
Make
Oh,
sense?
yeah. It makes
Yeah,
sense now for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay.
Yeah, I
because
mean, in a way,
she,
like,
yeah,
I mean, when you're so much in love with someone, even something wrong that they do, you can take it well, right? So I think it's
yeah.
the same
It's
way, in a
just
way,
a
like
small happiness.
she's so much in love. So and it's hinting you in who can be this killer, right? It
Mm.
has to be someone very close, right? So yeah, we already spoiled it, but
That's where I felt like it's either Aya or it should be Dulquer.
hmm,
Like anyone will do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I
Anyone
mean,
will
in a
like
way,
it.
like there was no not I mean there was a lot of talk about like, oh, how do we hide that the killer could be one of them, or I was like, but that's why do you need to hide it? I mean, like, really, it's either or, like, just play
Mm.
it that way, like, I mean, Silva plays with you, so he knows precisely what he's doing, but he's always like
But still,
doubting, so you
yeah.
actually give him the answer that he wants to hear, right?
Mm.
So he was like, oh, like, how can we make Devi guilty? And I was like, but no one's gonna think that. It's like, yeah, true.
At one point,
So
I felt
yeah.
Devi might have
Okay.
killed her.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cool,
no.
cool, cool.
yeah.
I mean, we tried, like, we obviously, like, we go with that,
Mm.
Hitchcockian kind
Mm.
of Vertigo Psycho kind of
Mm. Mm.
thrill, more like Rope, maybe. Mm. And yeah, the second half is a different animal altogether, right? Like, uh, I mean, if we talk about visual design, we only talked about one version of what of the black and white is one of the diegesis. We actually divided the movie in four, which ended up being four, but different fours, because we divided what the flashbacks were from 1940s to the recounts, like what, like so, like what Phoenix would ask someone, and they will go back to that, would be different from the flashbacks. But we decided to go with the same black and white. It was a black and white that was more modern,
Mm.
that was more digital.
Mm.
So the contrast was less. Uh, like the way that I mean, Selva wanted the whole movie to be black and white at the beginning. Actually, that was his pitch. But I
Oh,
Oh.
think, yeah, that was and that would have worked actually. We would have found
no.
different ways in which to tell you where we were. But since that was there on the table, I think it was so much easier to go from present to black and white, to flashback, because there's color in black and white, right? For that black and white, it's recount, so it's a flashback. So it shouldn't feel like movies, but it should feel like the idea that you have of movies. And the way we sold it to the producers was that, if I mean, in a way, because we watch films, we dream like film. Like, I mean, I don't know what's the chicken and the egg, but I think in a way, like, uh, the first films that were developed in the surrealism avant-garde movement as dreams, right? And that's not, I mean, that's key. That's not casual. That's because we actually dream like this. No, we have, I mean, it's a way of recounting our memories. It's not really how things happen. We jump, we change access, we change characters, right? So if films are like dreams, and at that in the 50s, people watched black and white movies,
Mm.
the dreams would be black and white.
Yeah.
And that's how we actually, conceptualize this other black and white. Now, because we actually went for flashbacks in black and white, a lot of it in the edit was brilliant. Like Anthony and Selva did this in the edit where the two scenes of the Charlie Chaplin moment of the flower,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They were they were in different parts of the script. Like they were not together, right?
Oh, okay.
It happened, like on set, and you saw Aya's reaction, and then you understood later why he had that reaction, right? But this is the first time that we go to a flashback. And
Mm.
it's great because, Babu comes in color and then talks to Aya in black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I was confused.
like that was awesome, like because then like you're like, what's happening? Wait, what? And then
Yeah.
it explains itself. You're like, okay, I get it. Like we're back. Like this is a flashback, and the same scene is happening in both times.
Yes.
That's brilliant. That was like editing. I mean,
Very
give this
smart.
man an award, like right now. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I mean, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, dude, like, what? It's like, yeah, right, yeah.
I
That was
felt
great.
that. I
That
felt that.
was one of the best editing choices that I've ever seen. And like, I watch a lot of movies. Obviously, my subjectivity, but yeah, and that was because we created this very simple way of understanding what flashback was. Now, for recounts, even though we wanted to have the same kind of LUT, and we use the same LUT. It was inspired a little bit by many things, but like we talked a lot about Ripley. I don't know if you guys have seen this Netflix series, Ripley. No,
No.
No,
it's really really good, and the
I'll
uh,
watch.
the uh, the uh, visual design is superb. I'm blanking out right now on the cinematographer, but I'll let you guys know in a second because that's why we have this device on our hands.
What is the show name?
It's
Wrigley?
it's Ripley, yeah. It's by the director. You can edit this out.
Ah, that's
That's
fine.
good.
But yes, it's by Steven Zalian, and
Okay.
the cinematographer is amazing. He's Robert Leswit. He's one of the best cinematographers out there. He did There Will Be Blood, that was also part of our visual design with
Okay.
PTA Anderson, right? And yeah, this movie is great, right? So we actually used it as our one of our main references for this. But when it came to recounts, we wanted to always use the perspective of the character that was
Okay.
telling the story, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we thought about how Debbie would, think about like have dreams or have the memory, right? What Babu is always worried about time, right?
Mm.
So his stuff would be like chopped. And how about this other character? Well, she would see things, but we won't see her much, right? She would see things through the doors, right? So every recount is a little bit like Rashomon, right? I don't know if you've seen Kurosawa, but like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
three
yeah, no.
recounts only, right? So every recount is totally in different visual design. So every recount, like even the guard, right? The security guard had a very different visual design. So
Yes.
yeah, so we wanted to give that. And for the color part, which is the present, we wanted to give a very like a vibrant but still like kind of feeling from that era from Madras. So I asked Silva like, how do you see the Madras from that era? And like we looked at different movies. We always look. I mean, obviously, Mani Ratnam is always a classic. But we looked mostly at black and white. So when it came to color, we explored also uh, like extreme things like Joker or The Master by P.T.A. Anderson, like, right? And we Blonde, because it actually uses black and white and color, right? Like that we talked about quite a bit. Um, that Marilyn Monroe kind of biopic, which was different, right? Was also part of visual design. But but when it came to the color part, we just used a lot of those ideas, and we created a lot that would work for the first half, where the lights of the set would be on, like the lights of movie making, tungsten lights would be on, which are
Mm, mm,
warm.
mm.
And then for the second half, when we go back, those lights are not on, and the set
Oh,
looks very different. And
okay.
suddenly, like it's dim and it's more contrasty. Lights are coming from the sides, right? Like the lights are coming from the outside, so they're bluer. There's a sensation of sadness, right?
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
that is the main difference of the first half and the second half, really.
Very nice.
Okay. Okay.
You're actually
I think
answering a
I
lot
can
of
only
questions
observe
which
this
we
when I watch it in OTT again. Yeah, yeah.
could be. We haven't had so much thought while watching it in the first
No,
time,
you
Yeah,
but
should you
yeah.
should watch it again in cinemas, guys, because now it's a different cut.
Oh,
yes,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
we will, we will.
True.
I mean, watch it
Uh,
for me. I want to watch it.
Yeah, no, 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 I will.
we will watch it. We'll
Yeah.
have to maybe do a your video call with you while watching now because you don't have it in your
Yes,
theater.
please, 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 please.
Anyways, I know you answered a lot of questions which we were about to ask about the lights and all that. So
Mm, mm,
we'll
mm.
wind it off with one basic funny question. So you already worked on Telugu cinema, you worked now on a Tamil cinema, you worked in English, you worked in Hindi. Overall, everything
I
is
worked in
cinema.
Spanish.
You worked in
I worked
Spanish
in
also.
Spanish. Yeah.
So and Kanta, Mahanati, both of them are something which are very difficult to shoot because you're kind of working on a film which kind of looks like 1950s, 1960s, or 1950s
Mm,
past. Like people like us who are like born and brought up here, we ourselves do not have a lot of context of how the films were back then, or how everything used to look in terms of visual design, or
mhm.
the gear we would use, or the lighting, how everything would look like. How are you coping up, Danny? We are so curious about it. Like Mahanati or now Kanta, how are you coping up and catching up with how everything used to look back then?
I mean, I think uh, in a way, we localize film too much. I think obviously, like, I always say that Bill Sigmund said that cinematographers are always foreigners to the land they shoot, and I think that's that's actually helpful. Like, because not knowing the language of the dialogue helps me tell the story. Like, I mean, my parents came to watch Mahanati, and it was in Telugu without subtitles, and they loved it.
Oh,
They haven't read the script or anything, but there is no, like, you can understand the whole movie without any need of dialogue. I understand what the basic plot is because it's all visual, right? It's all
Mm-hmm.
visual storytelling. So I think that's part of it. Another part of it is like if you talk about the specific look of a time period, I think it is similar to other places in the world. I've lived in the first world, the USA, supposedly. I've lived in Europe. I've lived in Asia. I lived, in many places, and uh, and I know the films from eras because I love watching films. So I've seen the world through time and locations, right? But when it comes to the specific movies that I've shot that are period, say for example, Virata Parvam, we have a very similar rebellion in against big landowners in the south of Spain, right? The south of Spain was completely controlled by what we call senoritas, right? Like people that owned massive plots of land, the same way that it happened in the south, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had a rebellion against that wanted to divide them. So even though those look very different, the jungles from the south of India look quite different from the forest of Spain. In a way, the themes are similar and the emotions are similar. So you just need to adapt it. And you adapt a time, you watch movies from the era, you watch, obviously paintings, photographs, music, and you actually get induced in that era. When I was a teacher of film history, uh, I didn't only play the film. Like when the students came into my room, we were playing like music from the era, from the country that this movie was shot in, right? And that way you can actually like listen to it and feel it, right? Then I would play clips that would contextualize the movie and ask questions to the students that they would have to answer to each other at the end of the movie. In a way, like when I approach a movie that like that, I always have these questions that I tend to bounce back with the director, with the HODs, with other collaborators, and that's how we figure out the thing. I mean, and film is a collaborative art. Like you cannot. I mean, as much as I would love to assume the whole credit from like having the whole image of these movies, it's not. Like it's a whole
Mm.
collaboration. Like my team is gigantic. Um, I mean, all these directors are genius that I work with. Like I was very lucky to work with directors that are so, I mean, such visionaries. Like, come on, Nagi has done great with and without me. He doesn't need me. I'm sure Selva will do it. Like Hampur Virapam is beautiful. Venu shoot these movies that are like, beautiful as well, and like so, it's heartbreaking. And so,
Venu
I
just made
mean,
another film. Like
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
produced it. He
yeah.
produced it actually,
Yeah, he
and like
produced
it's
it. Yeah,
getting a
yeah. I
very
wished
good.
him all the best. We were talking about it like the other
Uh,
day. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, I mean, as much as I want to take credit, and I do work on the looks of these films. Like, it's a whole collaboration, and like, I feel like we set out. I mean, I love to put obstructions. I don't know if you watched this movie called The Five Obstructions with by Lars von Trier, but in this movie, Lars von Trier recovers his master. He has a master filmmaker from the 70s, and he's off now. Like he's not shooting anymore. Everyone thinks it's old fashioned. So he approaches him in this it's not a documentary, but it's a documentary of making a film to remake his own film, The Perfect Man, and he gives him five obstructions every time that he wants to shoot something. So he wants to shoot this sequence, and he's like, okay, you haven't not traveled outside of Denmark ever, so you have to go to a place that you're gonna be very uncomfortable in. You're gonna go to Cuba. You don't know the language.
mm,
There's no film industry there, and I don't want you to take any equipment from here. You have to find your equipment and your team from there. And no shot, because you love sequence shots. No shot can actually last more than 1 second.
Oh,
oh my God.
So
so
when
many
it comes to
conditions.
movies, I always have this visual design in which I put this kind of mantras or these axioms where, like, for example, in this film, once like Aya says action, only Aya cuts,
Mm,
Yeah.
you know? Like it's a sequence shot within that move, like uh uh that shot. And that's the way that it's gonna play in the edit.
mm,
And again, like another great collaborator is the editor, right? I was an editor before I became a cinematographer, so I always, I mean, when I'm making the shot list, when I'm writing visually, like I always think about like how the shots are going to be combined together. Otherwise, like like you don't know what goes with what, right? And having that ability helps a lot, with the look of the film. But I think I got away from what
No,
you
no,
guys
no,
asked
that's
me.
fine. But I liked what you explained in the start.
mm,
Uh, your parents who liked Mahanati or now once they watch Kanta, even if they do not understand the dialogues, they need to understand the movie from the visual uh, design itself, from watching the
they
movie
can
itself,
actually. Yeah, yeah.
which is very smart. And I think for young filmmakers who are about to start, I think this will be a very important tip. Think and design your scenes in such a way that people would, you know, just understand it. They don't need somebody to read through the dialogues and explain it. Very nice to hear that. But
Yeah, I mean, like that was actually my Christmas present last year was gonna be a flight to watch Kanta, but my father has been like he's recovering now, but he's had a cancer that has been difficult. That's one of the reasons why I had to drop out of Kalki.
Mm.
It's
oh,
because he was not doing great and he didn't be close by, and being in India, even though seems close. It's a few hours of flight away. So yeah, this year they couldn't come to India to watch it. But I'm sure, and I wish the movie premiered here in cinemas. But maybe next one, maybe next one.
we will pressurize Salwa. We'll message him.
Mm.
Sure, sounds good. Did you guys interview him?
No.
No, we have to.
Oh, you have to.
Oh,
Yeah,
we will.
we will.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
so excited to talk to you again.
yeah.
We are like,
Thank you,
we
thank
want
you.
to
I
talk to
appreciate that. I
Daddy.
appreciate that.
Yeah, but again, not over complimenting you, but movies as usual very brilliant. That was the first thought which came to our mind when we watched it. I think we understood that it was going to be brilliant from the trailer itself, but
Yeah,
yeah, we're like, okay, let's definitely bug him again.
yeah.
But
Thank you so much. I
and
appreciate it. It was
yeah, and we hope like you will make lot more great movies like this.
True.
I know we miss
hopefully,
you in Kalki,
hopefully, my
but
friend.
you will have like a lot more other brilliant movies. Maybe we'll
And
come with a
like,
story like that with thanks again. I know
Thanks
we
again.
chat for
Yeah.
too long, but thank you
yeah.
and all the very best. We'll wait for your next
Thank
project
you.
very soon. Oh, thank you. Very
Thank
nice
you.
of
Thank you
Thank,
so
saying
much.
this.
thank you.
I appreciate
Thank you.
your